The dawn of Iran's civilization. Imagine a land where the story of humanity itself unfolds across 5,000 years, where empires rise and fall, and yet culture, language, and identity survive against all odds, where Iran stands as one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. Let's travel back to a time long before the word Iran existed, to a place where the first human communities settled on the Iranian plateau. Few countries in the world carry the weight of history like Iran. It is home to one of the earliest human civilizations. Its land witnessed the rise of societies that shaped human progress. Despite countless foreign invasions from Greeks, Arabs, and Mongols, Iran preserved its language, poetry, and unbreakable identity long before modern borders existed. By 30,000 BC, the region saw the emergence of a powerful civilization known as Elam, centered around the city of Susa. Unlike later empires, Elam was not the product of a single conqueror, but grew gradually from local populations who over centuries built complex city-states and kingdoms. The Elamites invented their own writing system, constructed monumental structures and large temples, and became active participants in trade and conflicts with neighboring Mesopotamian powers such as Sumer and Babylon. For almost 2 millennia, Elam remained a major power, influencing culture, politics, and trade. By the 6th century BC, repeated invasions from Assyrians led to the fall of Elam around the sack of Susa in 646 BC, creating the conditions for the rise of a new empire. The stage was set for the arrival of a transformative era, when Indo-Iranian tribes migrated from the Central Asian steppes, bringing new cultures and societies to the plateau. These migrations led to the formation of new groups, among which the Medes and Persians would leave an enduring mark on history. The Medes united various tribes under the Median Kingdom in the 7th century BC, establishing the first large Iranian state, while the Persians in the south were destined to build one of the greatest empires the world had ever seen. In 550 BC, Cyrus the Great emerged from the Persian kingdom of Anshan, located in southwestern Iran, defeating the Median king Astyages and uniting Iranian tribes under his leadership. Cyrus did not stop with conquest. He expanded Persian influence eastward into Central Asia, captured Babylon, and conquered Lydia in Anatolia. What made him remarkable was his approach to governance, allowing local traditions, religions, and customs to continue even after conquest. The famous Cyrus Cylinder records how he restored temples, allowed displaced peoples, including Jews, to return to their homeland, and established principles many historians call an early expression of human rights. Under Cyrus and his successors especially, Darius I the Achaemenid Empire grew to unprecedented scale, covering millions of square kilometers, building advanced administration systems, constructing long roads, including the Royal Road, standardizing taxation, and organizing provinces called satrapies. Their imperial capital, Persepolis, became a center where ambassadors from Egypt, Greece, and India presented tribute, symbolizing the empire's global significance. As centuries passed, even the mightiest empires would face challenges as new conquerors arrived ready to reshape the destiny of the Iranian plateau. The fall of Achaemenids and the rise of new powers. History is never silent. Even the mightiest empires face forces that challenge their supremacy. The story of Iran shows how conquerors come and go, but culture and identity endure, shaping the land for millennia. After centuries of Persian dominance, the stage was set for a new wave of power as the young Macedonian conqueror Alexander the Great marched east. In 330 BC, Alexander invaded Persia, achieving in just 8 years what had taken centuries of Iranian ambition. Alexander burned Persepolis, proclaiming himself ruler of the lands that Cyrus, Darius, and generations of Persian kings had built. After his death in 323 BC, his empire fragmented among his generals, leading to the Wars of the Diadochi. Control of Persia eventually passed to the Seleucid Empire, founded by Seleucus I Nicator. For nearly a century, the Seleucids ruled much of Iran, introducing Greek cities, spreading Hellenistic culture, and integrating the region into a vast Mediterranean and Central Asian world. Yet, this foreign rule was fragile. The Seleucid kings struggled to maintain control over distant eastern territories while Iranian traditions and local identities continued beneath the surface. By the mid-3rd century BC, a new Iranian power emerged in the northeast. The Party nomads settled in the region of Parthia, gradually expanding their control. Their rise around 247 BC led to the establishment of the Parthian Empire under the Arsacid dynasty, which would become Rome's formidable eastern rival. The Parthians preserved Iranian traditions while creating a decentralized empire, allowing noble families and local authorities to maintain regional autonomy, balancing Eastern and Western influences. The Parthians maintained control over vital trade route segments of what would later be known as the Silk Road, halting Roman expansion and integrating Iran into a vast network of commerce and culture. Their decentralized rule allowed for continuity of Persian customs while absorbing Hellenistic and Central Asian influences, bringing a unique blend of governance and culture. In 224 AD, the rise of Ardashir marked another transformation, overthrowing the last Parthian ruler, Artabanus IV, to establish the Sasanian Empire. Under the Sassanids, Iran became a centralized, powerful state. Zoroastrianism was established as the official religion, and Persian art, architecture, and scholarship flourished. They fought prolonged wars against the Roman and later Byzantine empires for centuries. The final conflict from 602 to 628 AD drained both empires, setting the stage for a new force emerging from Arabia. The rise of Muslim Arab armies in the 630s would reshape Iran's religious and political landscape forever. In decisive battles such as Qadisiyah and Nahravan, the Persian army was defeated. The last Sassanid king Yazdegerd III fled east and was eventually killed in 651 AD, marking the end of the Sasanian Empire. With this conquest, Iran gradually became part of the expanding Islamic world. Islam spread across the region, reshaping its religious identity, while Persian culture adapted and endured, preserving language, literature, and science in a new context. Over the following centuries, dynasties rose and fell. The Seljuks, a Turkic dynasty from Central Asia who converted to Islam, assumed power in the 11th century. They brought renewed political stability, adopting Persian culture and governance. Persian became the language of administration, literature, and scholarship, even as rulers were foreign. The Seljuk Empire became a hub of culture and learning, fostering architecture, art, and science. But even stability was fragile as a new invader emerged from the east, the Mongols. In the early 13th century, beginning in the 1220s, Mongol forces swept across Central Asia into Iran with devastating speed, destroying cities and causing massive loss of life. Yet Iran's cultural continuity remained intact. By the mid-13th century, Hulagu Khan established the Ilkhanate. Mongol rulers gradually adopted local traditions. Many converted to Islam, embraced Persian administration, and patronized scholars and artists. Ghazan Khan's conversion to Islam in 1295 marked the turning point, solidifying the integration of Persian culture with new rulers. Timurid and Safavid Renaissance. Iran's story proves that even after conquest and fragmentation, a culture can rise again stronger than ever. A nation can transform devastation into dazzling creativity, shaping art, science, and identity for centuries. After the fall of the Ilkhanate, Iran entered a period of fragmentation, yet from chaos a new conqueror would rise to redefine the region. In the late 14th century, Timur, known as Tamerlane, emerged from Central Asia as a brilliant military strategist. He conquered rival tribal leaders and gradually established the Timurid Empire. Although his campaigns often brought devastation, many Iranian cities suffered greatly. This era became remarkable for cultural revival. Timur and his successors became patrons of Persian scholars, architects, and artists. Cities such as Samarkand and Herat flourished as major centers of Persian literature, architecture, and science. Persian culture thrived even under a conqueror who was known for his relentless military campaigns. The Timurid Empire eventually weakened during the 15th century as rival factions fought for power, creating conditions ripe for the rise of a new unified Iranian state. In 1501, Ismail I, a young and visionary leader, founded the Safavid Empire, declaring Twelver Shia Islam as the official religion of the state. This decision distinguished Iran from its Sunni neighbors, especially the powerful Ottoman Empire. Yet Iranians fiercely preserved their ancient cultural heritage, creating a dual identity, Persian in culture and Shia in religion. This fusion became the defining feature of Iran, shaping its politics, religion, and identity for centuries. Under the reign of Shah Abbas, Iran entered a period of cultural and economic revival. The capital city Isfahan was transformed into one of the most magnificent cities of the early modern world, famous for grand mosques, impressive public squares, and flourishing trade. Iran's art, architecture, and culture reached new heights. The Safavid state firmly established the foundations of modern Iranian identity. Persian painting, calligraphy, literature, and scientific scholarship were supported and celebrated under Safavid patronage. But no empire is immune to decline, as internal corruption, economic challenges, and external pressures began to weaken the Safavids. By the early 18th century, Safavid power began to erode, leading to invasions and political chaos. For a brief period, Nader Shah, a brilliant military commander, restored Iranian power, launching a famous campaign into India, capturing Delhi's wealth. His empire, however, collapsed shortly after his death. The late 18th century saw the rise of the Qajar dynasty, establishing a new monarchy in Iran during a time when European powers expanded influence across Asia. Russia pushed southward, seizing territories in the Caucasus, while Britain sought control over southern Iran to protect its Indian interests. Iran, although never formally colonized, increasingly found itself caught between competing empires, facing economic exploitation and political pressure. The discovery of oil in the early 20th century intensified foreign interference, sparking uprisings. The Persian Constitutional Revolution of 19 forced the Shah to grant a constitution and establish a national parliament, marking the first hope for a government limited by law. Yet foreign powers, including Britain and Russia, feared a strong independent Iran supporting the Shah. They crushed the movement, plunging the nation back into instability. 1925, Reza Shah seized power, founding the Pahlavi dynasty, determined to modernize Iran, building railways, strengthening the army, and establishing schools, universities. By 1935, he officially renamed the country Iran, meaning the land of the Aryans. Reza Shah's modernization efforts set the stage for Iran's turbulent 20th century, where foreign powers and internal ambitions clashed, shaping the nation's future. Iran's journey shows how ambition, reform, and revolution reshaped a nation, a story of resilience and transformation that continues to influence the world today. After decades of foreign influence and internal challenges, Reza Shah's modernizing vision faced new global pressures. During World War II, Reza Shah attempted to balance relations with major powers. However, concerns among allied nations led forces from the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union to enter Iran in 1941. Reza Shah stepped down, and his son Mohammad Reza Pahlavi assumed the throne. The new Shah initially ruled under significant foreign influence, but continued efforts to modernize the country. In 1951, Mohammad Mossadegh became prime minister and moved to nationalize Iran's oil industry, which had been managed by the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. This decision led to economic pressure and international tensions. The struggle over oil highlighted Iran's growing importance in global politics. In 1953, political developments supported by foreign intelligence involvement, including the CIA, resulted in Mossadegh's removal and strengthened the Shah's authority. With support from the United States, Iran became an important regional ally. The Shah expanded the military, introduced reforms known as the White Revolution, and established institutions for modernization. At the same time, political opposition was managed through organizations such as Savak. Rapid change brought both development and growing public debate. While parts of the economy and infrastructure improved, social and economic differences increased. public dissatisfaction gradually grew. By 1971, large national celebrations highlighted Iran's long history, though they also drew mixed reactions within society. A prominent religious leader, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, became a key voice calling for political and social change, emphasizing independence, justice, and cultural identity. Public sentiment continued to evolve, leading to a major turning point. By 1978, protests expanded across the country. In January 1979, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi left Iran. Shortly after, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned to Tehran, welcomed by large crowds. Within months, the monarchy ended. In April 1979, the Islamic Republic of Iran was established through a national referendum, marking a major political transformation. The revolution redefined Iran's direction at home and abroad. Following the revolution, Iran adopted a policy of independence in global affairs. Relations with the United States became limited, including events such as the Iran hostage crisis in 1980. Conflict began with neighboring Iraq under Saddam Hussein, leading to the Iran-Iraq War, which lasted 8 years and had significant human and economic impact. After this period, Iran entered a new phase of leadership and global interaction. Following the death of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, leadership passed to Ali Khamenei. Following decades, Iran navigated international relations through a mix of diplomacy and tension. Efforts such as the nuclear agreement aimed to reduce sanctions while limiting nuclear activity, though developments like the 2018 withdrawal by the United States led to renewed challenges. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future content. Also, feel free to share your thoughts about this video in the comments. We'd love to hear your feedback.